Outliers. Niiamah is Sean here, and thank you so much for being here. Today, we are going to be having an Outliers Edge roundtable where we continue to expand your thinking and expand the possibilities of not just what is available, but to create, like, to look into how you can create new opportunities that other people aren't seeing or other people aren't stepping into in a way that is unique and creates wins for you and all the people around you. I'm really, really excited today because we get to bring on our guest, Owen Barrett, to come and like play with us and share how he's playing out in the world. Owen, it is an absolute pleasure to be here with you. Thanks so much for making the time for this here. We're excited to have you here on the conversation.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah. So Owen, like let's give Outliers a chance to get to know you. Would you mind sharing more about you and the game you're currently playing?
Yeah, the game that I've been playing is a game I've been playing for the last 15 years, and it's decarbonizing. It's having my part in the fight against climate change. I come from it from a little bit of a different perspective. I think I was professionally trained in finance. I'm a big believer that if something doesn't make sense financially, it's probably not going to happen. Money is, fortunately or unfortunately, what makes the world go round. And so we have a company called Shine. We're trying to decarbonize multifamily apartments. It's got an incredible financial or environmental impact and story behind it, but it also has a really incredible financial impact for multifamily owners and their residents. And so we're trying to come at it from a pragmatic perspective.
So I love that. I love the element of pragmatism that's in there, Owen. Like, what made you like? I'm curious here. Like, what made you say like, hey, out of all the different things that I can do, like I'm going to go and pursue this? Because I can imagine you came from finance. I can imagine that there were like easier paths to do. I can imagine like to take on here, and yet you chose this. So I'm really curious about that.
I think generally the easier paths have competition. We have no competition. Like we're the only contractor in the country doing what we do. And so because of that, it's complicated, it's frustrating, it's challenging, it's it's stressful. But we have zero competition. So I'll
Mm.
trade all those negative adjectives for being in a sea, by ourselves with all of the opportunity in front of us.
When you say that, what I hear is that like you chose a different hard. You know, it's
Yeah.
like there's one hard that is like doing what everyone else is doing, and then you like I have to go out and be the best. But now you're playing the heart of like we're the only, we're the only one that's doing it, which also means that you can't look around and be like, what's the best practice? What are our competitors doing? Like you have to figure out like all this yourself. Am I getting that right there, Owen?
Yeah, 100%. I think, but to me, that's like part of the fun of it, right? Is
Hmm.
we're constantly creating. Like, yeah, I have to run a business day to day, and there's a lot of admin stuff that I don't necessarily like. But at the end of the day, we're doing something every time we do an installation in any utility in the country. We're the first ones to ever do it. It's the first time the utility's ever heard of anything like this. And so we're just constantly creating, which is what I've always enjoyed doing that. So it's really fun.
Yeah, do you mind if we stay on this for just a little bit longer here, Owen? Because I
Yeah,
think
let's
that
do it.
there's something in it that feels really freeing. There's a story that I heard back in the day. There's about like two cobblers, shoemakers, and they were moving to a new place, and they got there ahead of the family. Each of them came in ahead of the family, and one of them came and they realized that the people there don't wear shoes, right? And one person wrote back and said, hey everyone, like stay there. The people here don't wear shoes. There's no opportunity here. And the other person wrote back to their family and said, it's like, hey, pack the kids up as soon as you can. No one here wears shoes. We're gonna make a killing. You know, it's like, and it's like I feel like you're playing that game in a bit where you see the opportunity, and it's not necessarily laid out for you, but you're like, we can do this. And like
Yeah.
and like we get a chance to focus on the things that matter. We can just focus on delivering here. And like, yes, we have to educate every single client we take on, but like once that's done, we're good to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Yeah. And word spreads fast, right?
Mhm.
Especially in the solar contracting world. Like if you burn a customer, everyone's going to know you did that.
Yeah.
The flip side of that is if you do a really good job and you show them sort of a new opportunity that they've never heard of,
Yeah.
word of mouth travels quick.
Yeah, yeah. So I get the sense, Owen, like, and we were talking a little bit beforehand, but like you're someone who's like able to see new opportunities, right? Would you mind sharing with us outliers here some of like the things either in the recent past or some of the things that you're pursuing upcoming where like they're like new opportunities that excite you or that you're trying to figure out?
I like how you phrase that. New opportunities is
New
better than how I
opportunities.
have. Right. I'm a stubborn person, and that's
Mm.
good for business. Sometimes it's not necessarily good for spousal relationships, but for as long as I can remember, whenever I've come across something that doesn't make sense, right? It's the status quo, but that doesn't mean that it has to be that way forever. Occasionally, I'll come across a problem or an opportunity that just doesn't make so much sense. I can't let go of it. And solar on multifamily is just one of those problems that doesn't make any sense to me. And it's such a massive opportunity that I can't not try to see this through. Like, I would not be able to survive as a person if I didn't try to crack this nut because it, for one reason or another, it's got me. It's got its hold on me.
Oh, I really love this here. Like, and I'm thinking about you outliers here as this is coming in as like, all right, what's that thing that like what I get about you, Owen, is that you're not restricting yourself in it, right? Like I don't have a finance background. I did like consulting, but I lived in like New York City and I have a lot of finance friends. And what I get about that life is like you don't need to stop doing that. Like once you're in, like it's a very good, could be a very comfortable life, like in like, I mean, financially at least, right? But like I hear that I'm hearing you saying like, "Ooh, once this problem showed up, like I couldn't let it go," and I'm actually really curious about this here. Now that I'm thinking about this, I'm curious about like when you left the finance path, like
Oh,
the path where everyone, yeah, that moment, I'm imagining the conversation with family, the conversation with friends. I don't know if you went straight into shine or not, but like I'd be really curious
no.
about like what happened right there, like when you were leaving that.
So the thing that made me, so I was in like strictly finance for a little bit, but I got burned out on finance pretty quick. Like within
Yeah.
24 months, 2 years after graduating school and getting a finance degree and working in finance, I was like, I knew that I liked numbers and analysis, but I also knew really early on that I hated the finance industry. It just wasn't for me. So I got a job. I went to grad school for environmental science and got a job as a corporate energy manager where I was using finance to deploy clean tech projects. And the thing that did it for me, the thing I always had this entrepreneurial itch. Yeah, I was always curious about trying to do my own thing. I always wanted to, but a really like cushy corporate job, W-2 is a hard thing to walk away from. And so two things happened sort of very close to one another. I was part of this sort of incubator program in San Diego. I was working on a startup on the side, like a lot of people do, and I pitched an angel investor, and he told me, he asked, "What are you doing like to provide for yourself day to day?" And I said, "I got this cushy corporate job, and then I work on this during nights and weekends." And he just looked at me and said, "I don't invest in part time entrepreneurs." And so that was like data point one. I was like, okay, if I don't if I don't believe in myself enough to go all in something, I cannot expect anybody to write a check to try and fund that company. And then the other thing that happened about a week later is I just implemented a $10 million fuel cell for this company because of tax credits and incentives. I think the net cost was like $3 or $4 million. It was going to save $1 million a year. So it was like a home run from an energy project. And I got a thank you card from my boss's boss, who was the chief sustainability officer, the chief operating officer, and the chief executive officer of this publicly traded company. And it said, "Thank you for all your hard work. Really excited about this project. Here's a $25 Starbucks gift card." And I was like, "You've got to be kidding me. Like, I just delivered $1 million a year in value, and you're giving me a $25 gift card." And that was it. I quit within a week
Mhm, mhm,
because I
mhm.
saw the value that I could deliver, and I would have just preferred a thank you card. Just say
Yes.
thank you. Don't assign value to it. But the
Yep.
fact that they tried and they were so far off was a breaking point for me.
This is that like that hits in a meaningful way. When you said it, the Starbucks card, I'm like, oh man, we missed it. we
Yeah.
mess what's up here, right? And so like outliers, as you're thinking about this year, also like you said, like if they had just shown the appreciation and there was like no monetary association with it, it would have
Yeah.
been a different thing. But once they
Would have been
added the
great.
monetary in, yeah, it would have been like great, you recognize me, like I'll take
Yeah.
that. Here we are. But there was something else in there. And so like outliers, I wanted us to be thinking about this as we're going on, as we're leading our teams, as we're going through, like noticing like the power of what actually gets through, and how relationships can be like, set back. Now that being said, Owen, sorry that that happened. I get it. Like I remember like the first time I ever got a raise, it was in during the financial crisis of 2008. And I remember getting, someone said to me, he's like, hey, you got this rating. Like normally you get like a 16% bump. This year it's 3. Most people aren't getting anything, but I had like I'm like, I wish you didn't tell me what I would have gotten. Cause like at
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
moment, I'm like, I did
exactly.
all this extra work for what? Like, I don't like,
For 3.
and it
You gotta
changed
keep up
things.
with
Yeah.
inflation. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So that like, I think it's part of the reason why you see me here now, because it started, I'm like, yeah, but what I also hear is like, you put yourself in a place where you can capture the value directly.
Yeah.
Right. And we can take these things on and go into it. So you were in finance, you got into energy, you were in energy implementation. So like the jump to installing these and build and shine, like what wasn't like you had the capability beforehand. Is that correct? Like, is that fair to say, or at least
Yeah.
you understood enough of the basics to be able to say, okay, now what are the nuances that are needed for this specific application? I'm really just curious about how that came to be.
I think, yeah, I mean, I think my time in finance, my time in as an energy manager gave me the skill set of evaluating energy projects, sort of knowing
Mhm.
if it was a good project or a bad project. And then it also gave me a piece of project management experience. So how do you
Mm.
actually manage the implementation of these things? Um, and that's a dangerous combination. I mean, if you can go
Mm.
out there and identify opportunities, if you could do the analysis, and then you can manage the project. For me, the piece that was missing was sales. I didn't know how to sell
Mm.
at all. And so that was a rude wake up. Like how, okay, I've
Mm.
got this great project and it looks pretty in Excel. How do you now convince someone to write you $1 million check to go do it? Like that's
Yeah.
something that is hard to teach.
I,
Um,
uh, I'm curious how
is yeah,
you went through the learning on that one there, and like you mind sharing a
two
bit
years
about
of
like,
no's, two
okay,
years of no's. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, that's
I
it,
like
right? It's
no,
reps.
no. I want to like bring this in here, like outliers, oh gosh, man, reps get me every once in a while because like I think it was one of the things that's like frustrating, frustrating like the outlier game where it's like we're used to achieving. We're used to getting things done. You just delivered this massive like implementation, and like within a week later, you're like, I'm out, and then 2 years of those.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I'm like,
Yeah. It was
like you
rough.
just don't expect it, just like you just slam right into it.
Yeah.
It's been some time since, but like, what was one of the things that like kept you going during that period?
Again, I'll turn to my stubbornness, right? I
Yeah.
I knew so numbers don't lie, and that's part of the reason that I love energy. It's so quantifiable. It's either a good decision or a bad decision. Like there's no gray area, there's no in between. And so I was underwriting these at the time, these lighting upgrades, and I was seeing 1 year simple paybacks, which is unheard of in like a CapEx project. And so I knew that the underlying economics of these projects were real, which then painfully made me realize how bad I was at explaining the value of these projects to the customers.
Mm,
So
mm, mm, mm.
I knew it was like I knew that I just needed something to unlock that sale process because
Yeah.
again, I would study these Excel spreadsheets and numbers don't lie. So I knew that the foundations were there. I just had to like figure out how to communicate value better.
Yeah, I actually really appreciate hearing that right now, Owen, on my own end. So, in my past worlds, I worked as a retirement actuarial consultant before I went into like learning and development, and then eventually this. And for years, I had left the numbers behind, and then I realized I'm like, wait a minute, what was I doing? Like, I was just kind of hoping and praying and kind of hoping that it would work out. And I'm like, I have a skill set, and it's like I can create a model based on
Yeah.
this, and And what I found is like the more and more I go through it, the more I'm like, no, the numbers work. You know, I may not be working it enough to get these results, but like it like what's changed for me has become okay. Let me take on the projects that like that are worth making the numbers work. Like wherever I start right now, let's say I have a like a 3% like take rate on something. It's like, all right, if I get to 15%, which is possible, and I do believe it's possible, this whole thing just takes off. So let me
Yeah.
go and do that. And so like I really want to just kind of like frame that in there. Outliers for any of you out there that are like, I'm not a numbers person or this, that, and the other. Like we're not saying it needs to be where you need to like start from, but like recognize the power of of numbers and how like numbers don't lie. This was that plus your stubbornness was 2 years worth of fuel where you're like I know this works. I have the
Yeah.
evidence of it, like both in my own experience and the the sheet says it. So let's go
Yeah.
out. Let's go out and do it. All right. Anything you
Yeah.
want to say to any outlier that's like either has a background like you or maybe has been staying away from like trying to like bring in the math on this all? Is there anything you want to say to them?
I think honestly, the math is easy to learn.
Mhm.
I would not be intimidated by that. The sales is not easy to learn, and it
Mhm.
is hard to face rejection day in and day out. So
Mhm. Mhm.
either learn to sell fast, get comfortable with rejection, or find a partner that's okay with it.
Yeah, yeah. Look at that. But there's three different pathways like immediately available. And what I love here is just like the spelling of like it doesn't have to be hard. You just once you know what you know. Let me ask you now, like without having to like talk about all like the journey and the things in there. Like now that you have figured out how to make the sales work, like how does that feel for you? Has it like does it still feel hard for you? Does it or is it just like tell me about like the post 2 year process where you're like, oh, we're finally getting some traction with this here.
No, it doesn't. I think it's how do I say this without sounding like an asshole?
You might
I
have
think
to.
you need to look. So I'm not a real estate guy, right?
Yeah.
I know enough about real estate to be dangerous, but I would say that I know the most about solar and multifamily probably in the world, definitely in
Mhm.
America.
Mhm.
And you can't carry that into a meeting. You have to let the customers discover the value themselves. You can kind of lead them there. But if you come into this like, hey, I know everything and this is good for your project, this is good for your business. I know it is. And I know that the customer will get there, but I lead them there. I don't like show up second one of the meeting explaining that, if that makes sense. So I think
Yeah.
as you develop like this skill set in sales and you discover your value prop and you prove it out and you know that it's real, it's keeping some modesty in the sales process so that you don't come off like an asshole in the meeting. You don't turn people off right away. Cause I again had to learn that the hard way.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I can imagine you're like, but this is just obvious. Like, it'll only
Ex-
be a year, and you just get this money. Like, what are we talking about? This is a no
yeah.
brainer. And it's like, no, they didn't arrive there on their own. The way I look at it is, uh, like this is my language here, but you talk about leading, and I think it's like the difference between selling and enrolling, or pitching and enrolling, right? Where like to me, what I feel like you're saying is like you slowed down, you slowed your roll down in order to enroll them in the vision of it, and part of your way of figuring out was like they had to come to the realization of the benefits for it on themselves, but they became enrolled in that vision and said, okay, I'm like you're leading them and like we're gonna go here together, you know, versus like all right, I'm gonna present something to you like this, like here goes the pitch, and like let's see if you're in, yes or no. That I don't even know if that needs to like land, but like for me, I hear that distinction. I'm like, oh, okay, this is another place where like being a really great leader can actually end up like translated into whatever the next thing is. Any thoughts on that, Owen, before we move on?
Yeah, I mean, I think at the end of the day, what we try and do is we try to empower our customer, our point of contact, to be the hero in the organization, right?
Mm,
We give
mm,
them the analysis, we give them the process, we give them everything so that then they can go take it to who they need to at their organization, and they're the genius. It's not us. I don't care if I get any accolades, but I want to empower people to go get that, all the praise that they deserve within their organization.
I like that. I like that. What came to mind is like, and if you do get accolades, don't send them a $25 gift card. Like, let's not let's not do that. Let's not do that, right? Oh, and let's talk here. Like it's fun talking to you because I think that you're keeping it real, right? You're like, there's a huge opportunity here. This is why I'm going after it. This is what I believe. This is who I am. My like that allows us to keep going. Um, and I want to like try and see from you like what's a project that you're taking on now or that you're looking to pursue that like that gets like that lights you up that like or is that next level of like the nut that you're like this is the one I got to crack now like there was a nut within the nut and
Yeah,
now I need to
yeah.
get this one.
Yeah, I mean, we started our business model in the market rate space. So these are like, sometimes it's called workforce housing for like teachers and cops and firefighters, and sometimes it's luxurious like Class A multifamily. But what's interesting is over the last year, we've got a lot of traction in the affordable space, like the deed restricted affordable. So this is housing for people that make usually 60% AMI or under. Um, and what I think is so fascinating, and we're still trying to connect the dots. So this might not be super eloquently explained, but we're living in a time right now where we're seeing the fastest increases in electricity prices like ever, ever in the US. And it's happening because of two reasons, maybe three reasons. We're trying to electrify everything. So whether that's houses, cars, I mean, houses and cars are the main things. Um, the big beautiful bill that our esteemed president passed last year basically axed the renewable energy industry. So it took away tax credits for wind and solar. Well, in 2024, all new capacity for electric generation was from wind and solar. So he effectively just killed supply. And then you have this whole AI boom and data centers. And you don't have to be a, Nobel Prize in econ to know that if you cut supply and you increase demand, price is going up. And so that's what we're seeing across the country. Prices are going up at like 10, 20, 30% per year. And Americans are feeling it. And so I think there's a very unique opportunity for tech companies, the people behind these data centers, to fund energy projects at affordable housing or affordable properties. And those are kind of the dots that we're trying to connect because they need community support to get these data centers approved. We need better financing to make these projects more impactful for low and moderate income individuals. And it just seems like the perfect marriage of interests, but super early in this idea.
Dude, I'm glad that you're seeing these opportunities and that you're playing it out here. Um, what's going on for me is if there was an outlier that was listening to this and like they either had a connection or something like that could help out there, like what would be the ask? What would be the ask? What's the opportunity? What's the invitation for an outlier that's listening to this to maybe help move you another 1% down the line of this thing that you're taking on?
So I just saw this press release from Google where they're trying to get approval for a new data center in Michigan, and they're launching an energy efficiency fund in Michigan to try and just implement energy efficiency in households, sort of within the community that the data center is going. I guess the ask for us is like we have the platform to install solar on affordable housing across the country. We have the relationships, we have the networks, we have all of it. It's just facilitating sort of that connection between us and tech companies and saying, you guys are trying to build data centers all over the country. We have affordable housing owners all over the country that would love to get solar for their tenants or for their residents, and just kind of connecting those dots.
Awesome. Awesome. So outliers, like we do this here. It's not just for information, right? We are an ecosystem of amazing people who have who help each other grow, right? And so, if any of you have any contacts that would be meaningful to Owen, or you want to reach out to have a conversation and kind of move the ball forward. Owen, firstly, I'm volunteering this on your behalf. So let me just check in and see is this something I just hear the amount of work you're doing. I feel the heart that you have. I get that you said it yourself, you're stubborn. So I'm like, this is gonna happen. Like, if there's anything we could do to help make this a little bit easier, I would like to. So, are you okay with me inviting Outliers one to
Yeah,
bring
yeah,
their support toward this project? All right,
100%.
cool. So, for any outlier that is like that's like, all right, I want to connect you with tech companies, or like they're just like, I'm going to become involved in this project and help make this come to life. Would you mind sharing with us like the best way for them to get in contact with you, or what the next step would be for them if that would be the case?
Yeah, probably I'm pretty active on LinkedIn. Probably just connecting with me there. Owen Barrett, founder of Shine. So that's like the only social media platform I'm on right now.
Perfect, perfect. All right, y'all. So we know where to go. We know where to go. Like keep this in your mind here. And what I get here is, regardless of when you watch this, if you're watching this live, and like go ahead and make the connection now. It might be something that happens later on in the future, and that you hear this. What I think I'm getting is that, like, Owen ain't gonna stop until it's done. And so don't think that it may never be too late. And if this project, by the time you reach out, this project is taken care of. But I also get about you, Owen, is that there will be the next one. So,
Yeah.
Outliers, reach out. Let's make that come to life. All right. Awesome, awesome. Um, Oh, and like I'm feeling good about the conversation here. I'm really, like, I want to thank you for the way that you show up, and what you are creating out in the world. I also want to thank you for like your candor, and like, and the way that, like, what I get about you is, like, there's an authenticity that shines through. And what I think that's um really helpful, like, especially there's a trust bridge that gets formed really quickly with you, because I don't think I have to, like, try and figure out what's going on. You're like, I'll tell you what's going on. Like, this is it. Like, and like, I'm imagining this here, and I want to make sure I'm saying this out loud, because I want to think, for any outlier here, no one else on this planet is you, Owen. So I want outliers to be able to see, like, oh, what are the things that I do that like might create this kind of, like, connection, trust, and so on and so forth. Like, I get that, like, you call out the good and the bad. You say it as it is. You are able to support your ideas, with, like, actual facts and numbers and figures, right? And you also have the ability to, like, get it done, right? You have the proof of it, and the ability to, like project manage and get it done. What would you say is, like, the hidden, like, gift that you have, like the strength that, like, other people might be watching you on the surface, and they'd be like, I'll just go do the same thing. You're like, oh, you're missing this. Like, what would you say that is for you?
I think you gotta just it's like a little bit of a carefree personality where, like, I don't care what people think. I just don't.
Mm.
I'm gonna say what I want to say. I'm gonna probably align with more people than I don't, and I just don't care what the haters have to say.
Mm. There's something in there that, like, I realized that my response to that was different. So there's two parts in there. One is that, like, I get that, like, whether or not you're polarizing, I don't know, but I get that, like, you figured out that, like, you don't have to go and be polarizing. You can just say what you say, and, like, if
When
if
you
if it
you
ends
don't
up
need to win
responding or
over
not.
everyone too, right? Like,
Yes.
I feel like when you start a company,
Mm.
regardless of what the company is, you feel like you need to make everyone happy.
Mm.
And I lost that attitude a long time ago. Like, I would rather
Interesting.
have, the old 80/20 rule. I would rather
Hmm.
have 20% of apartment owners just
Hmm.
hardcore Shine fanatics, because
Hmm.
those are people that we're going to live and die with. We're going to do a lot of business. They get it. They see the value. I don't think you can walk this line of trying to appease everybody. I think you have to be honest with yourself. I think you have to be honest with your customers. You have to be willing to fire customers if they don't, that's a hard thing for an entrepreneur to do, especially early on. Um, we're trying to do something that not everybody agrees with. A lot of people don't believe in climate change. A lot of people think, solar is this, like, wonky liberal, like, conspiracy theory. And we face it all every day. But, we don't need to win those people over. I don't need to change their minds. They can keep
Ooh.
thinking whatever they want to think. We just need to keep winning over the people that are sort of on our side.
So there's something in there, and that, like, I literally keep thinking, I'm like, I'm gonna end the conversation here. Then you say something of brilliance. I'm like, we gotta, like, just unpack that just a bit here, right? And so, like, so because you're speaking to me right now, right? And so like the element of like not needing to win others like over and not win everyone over. Uh, I have I took strength finders and my number two strength is woo, which is winning others over, right?
Yeah,
And
there
so
you go.
like I think I have to like I think you see me actively working against that a lot of times where I'm like, no, stop trying to appease, stop trying to please, just to be honest and genuine. All right. So there's that. But there's also this component of not the way I heard what you said. I heard what you said exactly, but I also like the challenge that I was like facing in my mind is like, oh, oftentimes I spend too much energy trying to bring people up into the space as opposed like into the level of thinking, so on and so forth, as opposed to working with those who are already there, who've already said
Mhm.
like I'm sipping the Kool-Aid, I'm in on this, and helping them get even further. So an example this year would be like I do Outliers Edge, right? And so there's like people like there are people out there that I could be talking to be like, hey, you should become an outlier. Like you should embrace being an outlier and step into the game. But what I really find like I like where I really shine and where the real magic is for people who already know that they're outliers, that are already playing a game that's different. They're saying, how do I take this thing and like on my own, I'm getting it to like level 3, but I know that I
Yeah.
could be at level 20. Right.
Yeah, yeah.
And I think that like it's very subtle because I'm like, oh, like everyone could be in, but like I hear you start with the people who are already leading in. Oh, I don't know who told me this, but like this is what's coming to mind. Someone was used to rescue people by helicopters, and they were asked a question. They said who were like they were like caught in the water after like a shipwreck, and they went to go pick them up, and they said how do you know like with all these people here, how do you know which people to save? And the person answered, you save the people who are swimming towards you. You know,
Yeah, yeah,
and this
that's a
element of
great way to put it. Yeah. They
so
haven't
it's
given
like
up.
they
Yeah, they
like
still got
they
fight in
haven't
them.
given up. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. And I really just want to make sure that we didn't like leave on leave without like unpacking that. I'm having a visceral response to that right here. Is there anything that you would want to add to that? Like I think it's great. I think it's one of those reminders. I'm like, oh yeah, where am I going? And looking to try and like lift someone in there as opposed to saying,
Yeah.
who's playing at the top of their game? What's that 20%? You know, anything you want to
Yeah.
add to that,
Yeah.
Owen?
No, no, I think you nailed it. I think that analogy about the helicopter uh guy's perfect.
All right. Well, I thoroughly enjoyed this conversation. Thank you for playing the game that you do here. You've given me a lot to think through. We're going to end this conversation with three questions. Right. The first one is what I call an outsight. So this is an outsight is something that you want to give to the listeners of this, to the outliers that are listening to this. What's a takeaway that you want them to walk away from this conversation with?
I think, I talk to a lot of early stage entrepreneurs, like first time founders, about what can they do to try and be successful their first go around. And I think I alluded to it before, but it's just doing whatever it takes to get some sales experience. Like you're a founder, but you're a seller. You're VP of sales. You're everything, right? And if you can't sell your product or service, you have no business.
There's something just beautifully simple about that, almost like frustratingly simple at the same time. It's like you could, yeah, it's like you can be great at all these things, but if no
People
one's
get so
buying,
bogged down on like the technical supremacy of what they're building, or all the different features that they want to roll out on their tech roadmap, and it's like you got to go to like back. That's all great, but let's figure out
Mhm.
how we're going to sell this thing day one. Because if you
Yep.
can't start generating revenue, you got a tough road ahead.
That's it. That's it. No, I'm going to build on this here because I spend a lot of time with people in like online business coaches and such, and like and the equivalent there is like the skill set, the technical skill set of what they do or their process or like the mission that they're on. But it's like if you don't have this all lined together in terms of like how you're able to continue the runway, like to almost to something you said earlier, like I had to learn how to frame it and more like you need to fund the vision. Like if you cannot fund this thing, then it cannot live. Like as much good as you
Yeah.
want to get done out in the world, like if you cannot find a way to fund it, like oh, you're like I had it, I could give it, but I couldn't find a way to get people fund it, make it, to give it money
Uh-huh.
for it. And so we got to make sure that happens. I appreciate that. If any outlier wants to go deeper down the journey with you, what's the best way for them to do that? I think you mentioned your LinkedIn. Is that the best way?
Probably LinkedIn.
Let's
Yeah,
do
just
it
connect
on
me
two
with me
things.
there.
If someone wanted to, so we'll go with LinkedIn, and then like how do they find Shine if they were like, if someone's like, hey, I'm interested in this, like, or I think my building might be a good fit for something like that. Like how would they do that?
Yeah, getshine.com is a website. We've got contact forms. We've got a cool AI tool where you can get like an instant estimation for solar on your property. So it's pretty useful from that perspective.
All right, awesome. All right, Outlier. So we got it. We got this here. Owen, the last question I'm going to ask you is, like, every time I have a conversation is to be a life changing conversation. I feel like what's the stakes are too low otherwise here. And so my invitation to you is to share with us an insight that you have from this conversation, a takeaway that you are leaving for yourself with. And if you don't have one, like, you've been really honest, so don't change that. But if you wouldn't mind sharing insight you have, if any.
No, I mean, dude, I love the helicopter analogy. Like, there's not enough time in the day to try and convince people to do something that they're probably at the end of the day not going to do. So it's life's all about finding those people that are swimming towards you. Like, that's such a powerful visual analogy. I'm gonna definitely steal it.
Please, I took it from someone else. So like it's the gift that keeps on giving. All right. Awesome. Awesome. I love that there. And you know what's coming to me is like, it's like outliers. Like if you're out there and you're waiting to be saved, like go for it. Make sure people know that you want this and go hard
Yeah.
on it, because some of us are out there saying like we're filtering for that action. Go ahead, Owen.
That's one more thing that I would say that I've stopped doing, but early on, I would tell everybody I talked to about what it was I was trying to do. I didn't
Mm,
care if you were my relative, if you were someone I literally just met, if you were a good friend. I would tell, it would be the only thing that I talked about. I would just put
mm.
it out there and see where it landed. So I think if you're trying to build something, that's a really powerful approach because you never know where those conversations are going to go.
Oh, dude, like it's as if you're like renting a room in my brain right now, because I literally realized I'm like I stopped talking to people about what it is I did, because I was trying to
Yeah.
be like, what is it that you want, right? And I
Yeah.
and and I realized that like what I wanted and what they wanted didn't seem to line up, and so I stopped talking about it. And I was having a coaching session, and someone's like, I have a large list. I can go and like enroll people for you right now. What is it?
Yeah.
And when he gave me the opportunity, I realized that I didn't know how to speak about it. And it wasn't because I didn't know, like, it was, my mind was getting mushy. And it's like, oh, I stopped telling people like what
Yeah.
it is. I'll introduce them. They can watch it live. They can come, but I stopped saying, this is where we're headed. This is what I believe. This is how we're doing it, And for most of you, this is not going to be it. But like for the 3% of you that it is for, like, I'm your guy. And
Yeah.
I feel like,
Yeah.
Owen, in talking to you, you reminded me like in the power of that. And like it's like you might have to talk to a whole lot of people. I have to talk to 100 people to get three to say yes. But like
Yeah.
that's the basis. Like it's like great. Like
Yeah. You're
just get
talking
ready
to
for
him
97
anyway.
no's.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. May as well put it out
Yeah.
there.
All right. Well, we're gonna wrap up our conversation here. Outliers, I want to say thank you for being here. Like until the next time we talk, Outliers, be you on purpose. Journey on. Oh, thank you. This I just before we leave. As Outliers, we have a community of people that like keep growing here, right? So this conversation doesn't just end here. So if you're someone who wants to swim toward, like, continue to move up your angles, to keep getting better at what you're doing, to cross pollinate and up level with other amazing outliers, go to school.com/outlier, and you can come join our Outliers Edge world. It's free to join, and we'd love to have you be a part of it. All right. All right. Now we're gonna end for real. Outliers. Till the next time we talk. Be you on purpose. Journey.